would I refer someone to you, to your business? What is your ideal client? How could I, be aware of that when I'm talking to people?
My huge push right now are business brokers that are already doing 6+ deals a year. I'm trying to really push this white glove service. The more I've dealt into business brokers, I've learned 3 things. It is really just a salesman game, and they're not CRM people. And it's also an old school game where they don't appreciate marketing. And I also know because of that, there's no interest in selling them on digital marketing services. A white glove lead to listing service is entirely where I want to go, because the simple fact is $120,000 a year is $10K a month, and that's less than 4% of one of their deals for a full year, to never worry about lead gen, to never worry about follow-up. Pretty much, all because their timeline is very long. So it's entirely that. Broker Growth Partners is really where it's at. Obviously, my Focus Flow Alliance exists, and I want to get people into that, but that's more just I'm spending 3 days a week helping entrepreneurs, and at $300 a month, I know that they'll actually invest time in themselves. But Broker Growth Partners, I want to really, really maximize everything that I love and know that my mind digs into, and not worry about the TC, the seller side. Like I do that with, I already do business brokeraging, but I really just want to focus on loving that aspect of, I can make all of your pains go away when it comes to follow-up and leads and digital marketing, and it's not going to cost you anything in the grand scheme of things. And you won't have to hire employees. You don't have to think about 1,000 systems. It is
so it's like automation, scalability, and increasing, the revenue that's generated by the expense that you're paying.
Well, at its core, they only want to be on phone calls with sellers who are ready, and they also don't want to be spending time with sellers who don't know them. So when you realize on average right now, industry standard is when a broker first meets a new lead, it's 6 to 8 months if they get them listed. So even if it's a yes, that's a very long pipeline, and they are so far behind marketing that I could use things from 10 years ago and crush. So now that I've seen their core issues, I'm not trying to sell them on digital marketing or SMMA, because then I'm trying to sell people who want money. There are a lot of successful business brokers that don't want more leads. They're like, no effing thank you. I don't want more follow-up calls. I don't want another person I have to remember to email. We are a white glove lead to listing service, and we're going to focus in on that. You'll get higher leads, more generated. And even if there are more, you're not going to deal with them. But we're not saying get 20 more leads. No, you no longer have to worry. The only thing you need to worry about is being on scheduled appointments and updating your monthly strategy, so that way it's more effective and you don't have to think about the rest. It's literally meant for those people who don't want to think about it and you want to have confidence that it's getting done. And if that's not just a place where I knock it out of the park, and I think about it, I don't need more than one client in each state, and I don't think I want to grow up more than a big boutique. I'm actually very okay with it being a 30 to 40 client max in its entirety, and it just being my way of staying in that business. And honestly, at 10 people a month, it's $100,000 a month. And honestly, I think I can run it at 40% margin. So it's like, I know all of the people who do all this work. I'm just implementing my strategy against the client, and then a crap ton of setup originally. Like, think about your system, what you don't want to get rid of. And now I'm systematically going to make it all go away. Why I'm charging $10K a month is we're never going to have a conversation about, well, I can't do that because it's going to cost. No, I will make sure I solve your problem. There will be no additional costs. But me and you both know that I'm actually, it's a dragon or a hydra, and who knows what it is. I just know I can solve the problem. And most of them don't have enough knowledge of tech or enough deeply ingrained tech that I think over time I'll be able to remove it. But being ready, like I might have a guy who's like, yeah, I want you to take all this work off me, and I don't want you to remove these 3 systems. Again, at $10K a month, I have no problem doing that for you, because I know the order of operation. First, we're going to take off the initial calls. Then we're going to take, I know the FaceTime that they're already dealing with. So I've got the onboarding method. So it really is not brokers who are looking for better marketing, brokers who really do not like the fact that a CRM is needed. They don't want to think about it. They really just want to think about closing deals or talking to buyers.
Right.
Yeah, they're my dream client.
I like the way you describe it as a white glove service, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's I mean, I worked on private yachts, and I actually had a owner come on board and put on the white cotton gloves and go touch. I had been instructed to deep clean the boat, and I mean, I'm me, so there was no place that and I'm taller than her, so there was literally no place she could reach where she would find dust.
Yeah, if she
And
only knew what she had unleashed with just a couple of words.
yeah,
Rob-
now here's the weird thing is that I had been working on private yachts for a few years, right? But you just get comfortable. Like, it's a high-end environment. I'm a personal servant, basically, right?
Right.
But I didn't really see it as a high-end service job until that lady came in and put on her white gloves before deciding if she liked me, right? She wasn't even gonna, she didn't care about me as a person or a human being until she went to see the first job I had done for her, how she felt about it. And it was clear that she had spots that people usually missed because she knew exactly where she was going to go touch. And I was like, oh yeah, I did that. I'm good. I did that. I'm good. But yeah, like those white gloves, you would think it doesn't, you would think it's so old that it doesn't evoke that anymore. But we still have TV. We still have, it's this deeply ingrained. You see a servant with white gloves on, and that's the next level.
Right, right.
and you just also know that there are people at a certain level of success are really more interested in being catered to than they are in hearing how much you're actually doing for them. Like, I don't
Absolutely.
want to know you're doing a lot of work. I want to know that there's no work. And so Broker Growth Partners is like, I only want to deal with those people who are really interested in getting their time and energy back, and the money is no issue. Because I know in 3 months, you guys have talked to me. If you have any idea what I can do with a single broker who's got a strategy in place over 3 months, especially if no one's doing anything. This is the easiest game ever. But I don't want to do SMMA. Charge $2,000, generate a bunch of leads. They're mad. There's so much. What's a good lead?
Well,
Not
and
Right.
the thing is you're really like, you can't be pulling in other people that plan on communicating, right? Like, it has to be you're the general contractor, and you're the person you're trying to satisfy wants to talk to you as little as possible, and they don't want to talk to anybody else, right? Like,
Right.
and yes, you definitely want to have a limit into the number of clients who are at that level. See, I have different service levels, and my high-end service level is basically, I'll make you feel like you're my only client, you can text and you get a response ASAP instead of the 2 days or 5 days of the other tiers, that kind of stuff. And I haven't reached that limit, but I have a limit in mind. And when I get there, I'll check to see and assess if that's the right limit or if I can add a few. But those high-end things, you want to limit to how, because you can only do it for so many people, right? It's a level of service that requires time and attention at their will, on their time, not yours. So absolutely. So I'm kind of, I have a lot in common with Tristan, but I'm on the other end of the scale. Now I'm expensive for the small business, but I like, my ideal client, has been doing their bookkeeping and trying to figure it all out. Maybe they've hired somebody to help them with their marketing, but the internal processes, they've been doing it themselves. And chances are they're worried that they aren't getting it right in QuickBooks. Actually, I was talking with a fellow bookkeeper that the people who are like, it's probably, you probably need to go clean it up a little bit, but it's probably pretty close. Those people have the biggest messes. The ones who are like, oh, I'm so worried that it's such a terrible mess. They're so careful that The stuff they do is easy to fix and easy to teach them how to do it right in the future.